What's up, guys? People again, and today's video is going to be about this. It is going to be a nice little review about this head, the new Dictator. There's two versions of the new Dictator from Brine. Uh, Before I get into the different versions, it is a FaceOff head. Now, if you really wanted to, be simply because of the pinch, you could use it as a MIDI attack head because it does have a nice aggressive face shape to it, but it is designed for face-offs. Like I said, there's two versions of it. There is the Dictator and the Dictator ST. The ST is the stiffer version of it because some people like to have a super flexible head for face-offs. Some people like a stiffer head for face-offs. So they give you basically two options. So in comparison to some other technologies, it would be like the Flex IQ from Epic. So pretty much just getting right into it. I mean, when it comes to face-offs, you really have a couple different, I guess you could say, requirements as far as what you really want to kind of go towards to have an ideal face-off head. One of the main things is being able to have an efficient pinch point or flex points. So upon first looking at the head, I didn't really agree with these struts here. But if you think about it, if you have too much plastic there, it's more likely to snap. But if you have too little of plastic there, it is also likely to snap or crack or anything like that. But and I haven't seen any break here yet, but then again, it's only been out for about a month or so. But I feel that how they kind of X'd it and have it curving and whatnot, I feel it kind of combats the fact that, hey, this is going to flex, this is going to bend, this is likely to snap right there, because right there is your flex point. Right here is one of your flex points. The other flex points right in the middle, next flex point, pretty much the entire head flexes. There's different flexing going on and whatnot, different tension. But because of that, a lot of players kind of frown upon certain heads. Now, like in comparing this to, say, a Warrior Nas or a No Nas, which I honestly feel the No Nas would be the better choice simply because it's less likely to implode like a regular Nas. But anyway, moving on. It has a decent flex. This is the stiffer version. I've messed with the regular ones. The only reason why I don't fully, like, me personally would recommend the flexible one is because I've seen quite a few kids at tournaments using the regular one. None of them, to my knowledge, had the stiffer version of it, but the head was completely trashed. So more likely, and they'd only had it for about a week or so. I mean, then again, face-off guys put some of the most punishment on a head other than goalies. Goalies and face-off guys probably put the most absurd amount of damage on a head when it comes to using a lacrosse stick. But, so, I feel that a lot of those players probably should have had the stiffer version. It would have been able to stand up to their abuse a little bit better. But if you're a straight-up finesse face-off guy, just real quick face-offs, no real fighting for it, the regular one would probably be a little bit better for you. But as far as face-offs for me, I would prefer the stiffer one just because I don't really do pinch and pops. I like to fight for it just a little bit or try and prevent the other player from winning. But moving on from the flexing and whatnot, the other thing that you really try and look for with a face-off head is allowing your hand to be as close as possible to where the ball is going to be. So the ball is going to be here, your hand's here. Now, in comparison to, say, like a duel from STX, your hand's right about here on this. But the duel, your hand's probably about a half an inch closer to the ball. But in comparison to most heads, your hand's going to be extremely close to that ball. A lot of heads, they'll go even a half inch longer most of the time. But your hand's really close to the ball, and it's a pretty sturdy looking throat. And once you move into, like, say, the men's league or anything like that, or a professional level, you can wrap your hand around that. much like the OG blades and whatnot out there, instead of just getting really close to it and having a really rattly head. So I kind of like the fact that they didn't make the throat too short, and they also made it very sturdy. Moving into the stringing, the first thing that I noticed is that there is actually a filled sidewall hole here. I believe, and from a little bit of research and talking to some people, is that that spot right there was prone to breaking for some reason. I guess it was just a matter of how everything was set up. But that is actually one of the flex points, one of the major flex and tension points. So that makes sense to fill that or completely just make that flat. But I feel that they filled it, but still kind of left the sidewall design there, simply so that it looks good, kind of more or less for looks. But that little sidewall hole filling going on, occurring, doesn't change the fact that this strings up really well. Sidewall, top wall, the top holes are very evenly spaced, as you can see with this top string that I did. Very evenly spaced, so you get a nice even top string going on here. Your sidewall holes, there's an abundance of them. They have kind of this flat and then oval part to them, as you can see right there. Kind of forces the knots to kind of either go all the way to the top of the knot of the hole, or all the way to the bottom because of the angles that are in those sidewall holes. But as you can see, you can string a pretty solid pocket into it. I mean, if you, with face-off head, you don't really need a super tight channel on it, because then you're just forcing the head to warp before you even face off with it. So you should really kind of have a little bit of a wider or even a wider, a little bit longer pocket going on in it, and then you can have a nice deep backwards pocket for facing off. So all in all, the stringing was fairly easy. I wouldn't really recommend putting a trad in it unless you're a trad user, but also a face-off guy. But all in all, I like the Dictator just a little bit more than the Dual, although I've had a lot of people say they would rather go back to the Dual than use the Dictator. So it's mixed results, unfortunately. So I mean, if you're a face-off guy, I would try and give it a shot. Again, there's two versions, the regular version and then the stiffer version, which is this one. I personally would use the stiffer version just because stiffer means a little bit more durable. So to each his own. I hope you guys liked this video. I hope you got a little bit of information about this, and I'll catch you guys later.